Hello again, and welcome back to the tasting room. Today we'll be sampling Breckenridge, a bourbon from Colorado. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Tom, bourbon has to be made in Kentucky in order to be called bourbon, right? Just like champagne has to be made in France, or cognac has to be made in the cognac region of France, otherwise it's called brandy. Well, no, that's actually not true. Bourbon does not have to come from Bourbon County, Kentucky in order to be called bourbon. Last week we discussed some of the requirements for a whiskey to be able to be called bourbon. The mash bill had to be at least 51% corn, had to be introduced to the barrel at no more than 125 proof, had to be distilled at no more than 160 proof, and it had to be aged in new charred oak barrels. Now, another one of the requirements is that bourbon has to be made in the United States, but it does not have to come from Kentucky. Case in point, Breckenridge here, like I said, comes from the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. Its mash bill is 56% corn, 38% rye, and 6% malted barley. What's unique about this whiskey is that it's brought to proof using snowmelt from the Rocky Mountains. There's a sweet scent on the nose. You can smell vanilla and brown sugar. I get butterscotch right away on the palate. It kind of melts into a bit of a spice, like a cinnamon. But the finish doesn't linger, it doesn't last very long. A relatively well-balanced whiskey, just not much of a finish. I would rate this one at an 88. Well, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you tuning in. If you're not already a member, click on that button down below and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you. Thanks again for joining us today. We'll see you next time on The Tasting Room.